Here's a follow-up video to figuring out your major scales. This video is going to help you figure out your minor scales. Your minor scales are an alteration of the major scale. In one way or another is how I think of it. You can think of it as a totally separate set of scales, but for me it's kind of a slight alteration. So each scale, each major scale has a key that we play in. So like if we play the C major scale, that's a key of no sharps, no flats. If we played B flat major scale, that's a key of two flats. All right. So in order to find out our minor scales, our natural minor scales, because there's three different versions of minor scales, this video is going to show you how to figure out your natural minor scales. There's two different ways to do that. The first way, which I feel like is a little bit more easy, is when you think of them as relative. Okay, the relative minor to the relative major, and what this thing means is think of like a relative where you're related by blood. Okay, these two scales are related by key signature, or their version of blood, their key signature. So I'm going to take my C major scale again. We're going to start there, play that. It's got no sharps, no flats. And now from C, I'm going to go down 3 half steps, not including C. So it'll be C down to B natural is half step 1, down to B flat is half step 2, and down to A is half step 3. And then I'm going to play my C major scale, but starting on A. And that's my A minor scale. Now let's go back to that B flat major scale we played earlier. We have 2 flats. All right, we're going to go down 3 half steps from B flat to A flat, and then to G. And we're going to play the same key signature, 2 flats, starting on G. That's going to be your G minor scale. Going down 3 half steps from your tonic note, if you think back to the major scale video, tonic is your first note that you play, or the name of the scale. If you go down 3 half steps from your major tonic, you're going to find your starting note, your tonic note for your minor scale, and then you just play the same key signature as the major scale. Works for all 12 major keys. The other way to think about it is our parallel minors, where these scales start with the same first note. And in order to do this is how I actually learned my minor scales when I first learned them, is you lower the 3rd scale degree, which is the 3rd note of the scale, the 6th scale degree, and the 7th scale degree. So you'll lower the 3rd, 6th, and 7th note. So let's go back to C major. We'll play C major again. And now each note is a scale degree. So I'm going to play it and say it real slow, and I'm going to lower my 3rd, 6th, and 7th note as I do that. So I have 1, 2, 3 is now E flat, 4, 5, 6 is now A flat, 7 is now B flat, and 8 or 1 again is C, and we go back down. So those notes, those scales have the same starting note. They both start on C. One just has no sharps, no flats. The other has a flat 3rd, 6th, and 7th note. And again, this works on every major scale as well. Let's go back to that B flat major scale. We have 2 flats. Now we're going to count through it and lower the 3rd, 6th, and 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that gives us our B flat minor scale. Again, this same starting note with a flat 3rd, 6th, and 7th works for all 12 keys as well if you want to go from the same starting note as your major scales. I now, like I said, I learned by learning parallel and just learning the 3rd, 6th, and 7th. Now when I teach and think about them, I'm thinking about my relative minor scales, because I go down 3 half steps and I play the same key signature. It also helps me think theory-wise through what my key signatures look like. So hopefully this video is helpful to you. How do you know your natural minor scales, or how do you think of finding your natural minor scales?